Hi there. So I'm David. This is, I don't know how many, probably the fifth or sixth time that I'm trying to record this. Hopefully this recording will finally be successful in terms of both the video and the sound aspect. I've tried several different strategies, but I'm very new to the whole video blogging thing. So why am I here? I am here because just over 25 years ago now, it'll be 26 in January, I think. I had what would be called, I think, still an acute psychotic episode. So I had gone away to university from Jamaica, which is where I'm from, to Cornell, which is an amazing place in Ithaca, New York. I was there on full scholarship, which was also probably one of the most wonderful opportunities I've ever had in my life. Thank you again, Cornell. You are incredible. I'm almost tearing up thinking about it. Anyway, so I was there in scholarship and I completed my first semester, did quite well, and was staying with relatives in New York or New Jersey for the Christmas vacation. Became quite depressed for a number of reasons. Though at the time I didn't realize it was depression. I was just kind of sad. And then was so happy when I got back to Cornell. And in fact, I was a little too happy. Unfortunately, when I left, I moved rooms from my double room with my roommate Jeff, wherever you are, Jeff, hi, to a single room. But I hadn't unpacked before I left. So pretty much I put all my stuff away. And when I came back to Cornell, I had an amazing room in the Tower of Risley Hall, but everything was in boxes. And, we're creatures of territory and habit, and what that meant was I didn't have a space that was mine that I could comfortably settle into. I didn't even have a bed with sheets on it. And so rather than maybe go to my room and try and relax and chill for a little bit, I started roaming the hallways of Risley, saying hi to my friends, being really happy to see everyone, and that happiness just didn't end. Uh, where should I take it from here? Well, the net result was that I ended up hospitalized, medicated, back in Jamaica for a year and a half of long struggle. Um, this video installment of my video blog is meant to be sort of an introduction and overview. So maybe without getting into the nitty-gritty details, I'll talk a little bit more about why I'm here, and then the next installment can get into some more of those details. I've coped really, really well with a major mental illness in the last 25 years. I know people with a similar diagnosis and a very similar trajectory who have really struggled, at least in terms of dealing with their medication and the impact that that medication has had on their physical health. I know people who, very similar trajectory, who committed suicide years ago, which is thankfully something I've never attempted. Uh, and for the last 6 years, I've coped so well that one of my doctors, my therapist, who is a medical doctor trained in psychotherapy but not a psychiatrist, didn't see any evidence that would give him reason until very recently to confidently diagnose me as bipolar. There's some sadness and some depression there, but a lot of it was situational, because while I think I cope extremely well with my mental health, there are other aspects of my life that, I still have a ways to go to where I could say, wow, I've really been successful at that. And the fact that you could see a doctor weekly for 6 years with a major mental illness and him not even sort of feel confident saying, yeah, that's what you've got, I think says something to how well I've done. And I'm proud of that. And I also want to share my experience because although I think there are lots of other people out there who are successful, I know there's so many who struggle. And I don't think the medical profession really supports wellness. There's even an ironic paradox involved in the fact that my doctor would doubt my diagnosis and all of what changed once I'd exhibited behavior that enabled him to feel confident. Wow, yeah, okay, you really are bipolar, so now we need to put you on all these drugs. And I was like, whoop, slow down. And yes, I am on drugs, and drugs I think are extremely important in coping with mental illness. They're a great tool, but they're not the only tool. And the manner in which the medical profession uses them, I think, is as destructive sometimes as it can be constructive. So I'm here because I want to talk about that and I want to share that. I have my own business. I've had my own business for 8 years. Prior to that, I worked in social services. And I really miss the fact that I used to have a leadership role around certain kinds of issues. I miss that ability to contribute around social justice issues, and I can't realistically manage both my business and my mental health and also make any kind of major commitment to the kind of social justice work that I used to do. So in some ways, this video blog is my own contribution to that kind of work again. We talk a lot about stigma when it comes to mental illness, and there are more and more people out there who are coming out as crazy, and that's kind of what this is for me. I've always had a long-term plan in my life, and the next phase of my life plan, which happens sort of in step with hopefully the growth of my business, is that I want to become a much more visible spokesperson, advocate, coach um, for people living with major mental illness and attention issues, which are very much tied up with a bipolar diagnosis. And so this video blog is a step in that direction towards that goal. And lastly, from a very personal standpoint, these videos are a means for me to document the experience of my condition. So over time, as I record some of these blogs, I think you're going to be able to see, though it may take a while because those behaviors don't manifest that often, some very distinct shifts in how I present. And some of those shifts will be very much a function of my mood, a mental state. And some of them will also be a function of the medication that I take to manage that. So, those are all the reasons I'm here, because I want to share. I want to share in a way that I hope is helpful. Uh, I want to celebrate my own success because I'm proud of it. Um, I want to begin a role, a more visible role in order to challenge some of the stereotypes and stigma around mental illness. And I want to have a record of myself over time because that can actually be helpful and useful, I think, in my own therapy and continuing to manage my condition well. So I hope that makes sense. I have no idea whether you'll find me on YouTube or not. If you do, please feel free to leave a comment. I'm not even sure how comments work. I probably will moderate them if that's possible. But I promise I'll be back again. And yeah, that's it for me for now. Thanks.